All right, so if you're buying a house now or anytime later, this could come into effect. What they're talking about is this August 17th cutoff. Is there was a lawsuit put in place that's going to change how agents are paid. And what I mean by that is let's say you're selling your house right now. You would say, okay, I'm going to give the buyer's agent 3%, and I'm going to pay my agent 3% to sell my house. And what that means is the agent that does all the paperwork for your house and all the working and all the showing and everything that they do, they're going to get paid 3%. You're also going to pay the listing agent who brings the buyer in 3%, because remember, there's a buyer's agent out there who has worked really hard to secure the buyer's interest and also show them sometimes 5 houses, sometimes 100 houses, and run numbers for them and just do everything that a realtor does. And they are going to bring that buyer and say, hey, look at this house. Let's run the numbers. Let's look at this. Let me set up the home inspection. Let me do A, B, C, D, all the way through Z. Let me do that for you. So after August 17th, the seller no longer has to pay your buyer's agent anything. It was customary that the seller paid the buyer's agent, but now it's no longer considered customary. So it may be where the seller still pays your agent, but it may not. I'm already seeing listings that are going and they're not paying the seller's agent, which means as a buyer, let's say you're buying a house for $300,000, which is a pretty inexpensive house in today's market, 2024. You're buying a $300,000 house. You agreed to pay your agent 3%. That's $9,000. So let's say you're buying a house and you're doing 100% financing, and that means you are financing 100% of the purchase price, $300,000. The closing costs are $10,000, give or take, and you're getting a grant from the county to pay those closing costs. So you're basically buying a house for no money. But here's the kicker. You agreed to pay your agent 3% to be your agent, but the seller is not paying that agent anymore. So guess who has to pay it? You do, out of your pocket, the buyer. So you did 100% financing from the bank. You got a grant from the local county or state to pay your closing costs, but you still have to pay your agent $9,000 out of your pocket. A lot of people can't do that. So where's this money going to come from? Well, it may come from another grant. It may come from the seller. So if the seller's selling you the house for $300,000, you can say, well, I need a 3% credit so I can pay my agent. The seller can decide to give you that 3%, or they may say, we'll only give you 2% of that money. If they give you 2%, well, you got to pay that 1%, which is $3,000. Trying to summarize this and make it as quick and easy for you as possible, but be very cautious if you're buying a house. Talk to your agent, talk to your lender, make sure you know everything up